News, politics, entertainment, and more. Welcome to The Informant. Independent talk, pursuing truth, informing everyone. Now, here is The Informant, Eric Thompson.
Hey, good evening to you, and good morning to you out there in the East Coast. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Eric Thompson, and you are listening to The Informant. I'm out here in California Monday through Friday here on Spreaker. You can always go to my website, the-informant.com, if you'd like to hear some of the previous shows. Also get links over to the social media sites, and I'd also like to point you to my social media website, my alternative to Facebook, MAGA book, magabook.com. Please go over there and connect with me. But the reason why I do this show, as a typical American Marine air traffic controller during the Desert Storm years, kids, grandkids, the whole thing, been married 25 years. And I do this because when I look at the news, when I look at the direction of the country, as a conservative, independent Christian, things have been going, as we know, wrong for quite a while. And we know that Barack Hussein Obama was on a mission as a globalist to destroy our country, and he did some pretty significant damage, including DACA and Obamacare and other things. So I do this because I want to make sure that you hopefully have a voice, that you want to get me information. You can always email me, Eric at the-informant.com, on stories. But I want to make sure that we're all informed, that we know what to do. We know how to be involved. Because I think 2020, even though we said 2016, we have to get President Trump in, that's the end-all, end-all. But actually, 2020, I think, because the immigration issue is so out of control, and we'll cover that tonight, that our immigration laws have to be rewritten. And that's going to take the Republicans having a large majority in the House, getting a bigger majority in the Senate, and having President Trump get reelected. For example, immigration, asylum, that has to get our immigration laws, which are written by the House of Representatives, needs to say the only way you can apply for asylum to get into the United States is from a consulate or embassy in your country of origin. If you come to the United States border, you shall be turned away, and we will point you back to one of our embassies or consulates. You cannot get to our border and say asylum and then get in. That has to change. We know the 14th Amendment would take a constitutional amendment to stop anchor babies, and it's frustrating that when they passed it, when they debated it on the floor of the Senate and the House, well, of course, anchor babies wouldn't apply to illegal aliens, foreign dignitaries. So they said it, but they didn't put it in writing. So we're stuck with anchor babies. But the other ones we can deal with. So I do want to thank you again for watching. We're going to cover from the Mueller issue. The Democrats, CNN is in denial that it messed up during the Mueller report. They're just so clueless. Either Jake Tapper deserves an Emmy or Grammy, or I think whatever they get for television. I don't watch it. He deserves an award, or he's just clueless like AOC. Because we're going to listen to him talking to a Trump staff member. Well, we didn't do anything. We didn't misrepresent the Mueller report. Nah. Then we're going to cover Joe Biden. I'm really surprised by this, except I'm going to go over with you why I think Biden is getting taken down. Because a lot of people thought Biden could beat Trump in 2020. Even Whoopi Goldberg and Nancy Pelosi have come out in defense of Joe Biden. What happened to the Me Too movement? And then we are going to look at what's going on with the border. And if I have time, we're going to talk about that the Pope is mocking us for wanting a wall and immigration laws, but someone else in the Vatican actually sees it and goes, no, I think we're kind of taking the Bible out of context here. The Bible doesn't say you shall break into people's countries, etc. So we'll see if we get to that. So let's start out here. Big league politics. Confirmed. Mueller dragged out investigation for more than a year after finishing it. Did you know that? How do you like that for jurisprudence, whatever you call it? How do you like it when the government is so political that you just can't do it the right way? It says former special counsel Robert Mueller exhausted his investigation into President Donald Trump's non-existent Russia collusion in December 2017, but kept the investigation going for more than a year, even though he was warned that he was impeding President Trump's ability to govern the United States government. Quote, by early December, he had exhausted all of the evidence and witnesses, unquote. President Trump's former lawyer, John Dowd, said of Mueller in Dowd's recent interview with journalist Brian York, as reported by the Citizen Free Press. Quote, I said, look, what basis do you have to do it, unquote. We're not afraid of a grand jury subpoena. Do you want to do it? You've got yourself a war and you're going to lose it. There's no way Mueller could win that. I think he concluded that even with all the firepower on his side. I think he knew he couldn't do it. I think they thought they might scare us into it, but we were not going to go there, unquote. He said, I asked, what's the president's status? Mueller said his witness/subject. He's a witness/subject. And I said, you mean he has no exposure? He said, that's right. So I knew then, by inference, that Mueller had nothing to proceed on in the collusion and conspiracy area. Why would Mueller delay? Why do you think he delayed for a year? Well, let's see. 2018 midterms, huh? That's right. So even though he had everything he needed by December 2017, he held giving the findings till after the 2018 midterms. But he's a man of integrity. Special counsel Robert Mueller, just above reproach. No, he's a political hack. The problem is that President Trump's attorney, John Dowd, early on, speaking to Mueller and his team, knew that he had nothing. Why do you think President Trump, knowing he didn't do anything, but he also knew that Mueller had told his attorney that he didn't have any exposure, that there was nothing on the collusion side? But does that matter? Does it matter up in the DC where instead of doing the honorable things, you just do things that are politically expedient? So I thought I want you guys to know that this has been just a exhaustive, thorough attempt from the globalist, from the deep state, from 2015 forward. Everything that the FBI and the Department of Justice and everything under Obama, everything they did was to keep Donald Trump from becoming president, set him up so that if he did end up becoming president, he could be impeached. And then in the investigation that was used to discredit him, delay it till after the 2018 midterms so the Democrats could get the House and hopefully the Senate for them. And then he goes ahead and releases it. And so they're all like, remember Chucky Schumer? Yeah, well, we just need to wait for the report. Robert Mueller is an honorable man, and we will accept his findings. We just need to wait to get the results. Well, that's not how it works, of course, in D.C., because the results, as summarized by A.G. Barr, was, well, After all this time, after all the money, after all the witnesses, no Russia collusion, no obstruction of justice. President Trump's attorney could have told everybody, yeah, hey guys, we're just kind of getting into this and there's nothing. So it was known. And that's what's interesting about this, because when you get over to CNN, here's an article from Breitbart. It says CNN's Tapper defends Mueller probe coverage. I don't know anybody who got anything wrong. Does that is that? I mean, it's beyond hilarious. If you've watched Hannity's show or listened to Rush or anybody else or just seen the social media videos, there's montages of just guest and host on CNN and MSNBC. Wow, Comey's going to do this. Looks like a rope's coming around Trump's neck. Collusion, it's a sure thing. Mueller is going to put out his indictments. President Trump and possibly his children could go to jail. It is beyond just pseudo guest and somewhat expert, kind of an expert, not an expert. Somebody knew somebody who's an expert. So Tapper, I'm going to play an audio here of this was on Sunday's CNN's State of the Union. Jake Tapper, you're going to hear him speaking with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney. Because when McMaster and then who's the last guy that stepped down? I forgot. But McVaney that acting chief of staff Mick Mulvaney, he was aware of anything on his network that they got wrong while reporting on the Mueller probe. Mulvaney says, well, we need to figure out what went wrong with the Mueller report, why in all fairness to your network, why the media got it so wrong. So here's how they played it out, but it's comical to me. I'll probably have to stop it partway through here for the station break, but here's Jake Tapper trying to, well, there's the station break. Good, that came up first. You're listening to The Informant here on Spreaker and on the-informant.com and on my social media sites, magabook.com. So please check out the-informant.com. Make sure you go to Spreaker, look up The Informant Show, and over to magabook.com, and let's get connected and make a difference. All right, here we go. This is Tapper talking to McVaney about, and Tapper's going to try to convince him that CNN was above reproach and made no mistakes during their assessments of the 2 years of the Mueller report or the Mueller investigation.
Obviously said he wants the public to see the Mueller report. But here's what he tweeted on Friday. Help us understand this. Quote, the problem is no matter what the radical left Democrats get, no matter what we give them, it will never be enough. Just watch. They will harass and complain and resist, the theme of their movement. So maybe we should just take our victory and say, no, we've got a country to run. When the president says no there in that tweet, is he suggesting that the full Mueller report should not be released?
Jake, good morning. Thanks very much for having me on this Sunday morning. No, take the president at his word that it is time to sort of work on policy. Yes, we need to figure out what went wrong with the Mueller report, why, in all fairness to your network, why the media got it so wrong for so long. But it is time to talk about health care. It is time to talk about trade. It is time to talk about other things, while at the same time talking about why it came down the way that it did. It was so thorough and yet so accurate. How did the media get it so wrong? I think the president's just venting the same frustration a lot of people had when the Mueller report came out, and it turned out exactly like he said that it would. So now, well, as usual, you take the president at his word in his tweets.
He wants it released, but I'm not sure what you're saying the media got wrong. But the media reported what the investigation was going on. Other than the people in the media on the left, not on this network, I don't know anybody who got anything wrong. We didn't say that there was conspiracy. We said that Mueller was investigating conspiracy.
That's fine. If that's your recollection of history, that's great. Face it. Come on, the media got this wrong, Jake. It's okay. People get stuff wrong all of the time, just not at this level. But it's done now. The report is there. It's extraordinarily thorough, as you know. I think they talked to 500 people, issued 20